Hi, everybody. This is Pete Torre, the host and creator of the Pete Torre Show, and I want to welcome you to episode 20 of this program. Before we move on, I want to give a moment of thanks to my sponsors, Miami-Dade College, the Health Channel, and Jackson Health, South Florida. You know that this program is online. We have a YouTube channel, Pete Torre, and I'm going to ask you to subscribe when you get a moment. Today's guest is a representative of Miami and everything that's going on here. The first one is Antonio Delgado. He is the Vice President of Innovation and Technology for Miami-Dade College. And my second guest is a restaurant and entertainment entrepreneur, Robie, who has spent over 25 years in the industry. All right, let's talk a little bit about Antonio Delgado. He's got over 20 years experience in technology innovation. He has partaked in many different projects and initiatives throughout South America, Latin America, Central America, and the United States itself. And he's going to share with us what Miami-Dade College is doing, has always done, but is doing now to further advance technology, especially here in Miami. All right, with me right now is Antonio Delgado from Miami-Dade College. How are you today, my friend?
I'm very well. I'm very excited to be here this morning with you, Pete.
You know, I was looking through your background, through your bio, and I didn't know where to start because there's just so much there, and you've done so much in the last few years. I know the last 15 years have been really huge for you personally as you've traveled throughout different countries, you know, doing your bit in terms of technology innovation, and now you have brought your talents recently to Miami-Dade College. They are very, very fortunate to have someone like you that is dedicated and is doing the work that needs to be done, not only because it's the work mean to other generations down the road. So congratulations on all that. There's so much that I want to talk to you about here today, but the first thing is to look at Miami-Dade College's role as an equalizer, as a catalyst of opportunities and positioning the school as, and I love this word, a trailblazer when it comes to technology education. Can you share a little bit about that and your vision as it aligns with your work?
And that's a great introduction for this conversation, Pete, because we are seeing that Miami is growing as a tech ecosystem. We see the government and private sector, they're growing, they're attracting more businesses. Miami is really becoming a hub, especially for technology. Investment coming here, and that requires talent. So when we talk about talent, Miami-Dade College is really the provider, the big provider for the local community, the local, ecosystem that is growing. We are really, as you say, the equalizer. We're expanding the opportunity for the local community to have access to these opportunities, and most of them high-paying jobs. So
Yes.
through education, we believe that we can provide, everyone in this community, first-generation immigrants, second-generation immigrants. It doesn't matter. This is for you as well. And Miami-Dade College is not only the entry, the pathway to learn English as a second language, but also really to give you the skills in technology, the latest skills in either cloud computing, cybersecurity, data analysis, or artificial intelligence. Miami-Dade College being there to really help and become that bridge to, how can we help our local community to have economic mobility, to have a chance, to have a ticket to the middle class?
That's a great path to take because that is the world we're living in. You may or may not know, but I do another program, a special series called Blockchain Talk, and I have a partner out of Austin, Texas, Sean O'Brien Brem, co-founder and chairman of a company called CrowdPoint Technologies, and they are now coming. They're having a coming out party now globally with a new upgraded blockchain platform and many other things. So you and I, sidebar, I know we can have some interesting conversations regarding that. Um, I know that going back to the times of Eduardo Padron as a president, and now Madeline Pumariega, who's taken the torch and now taking it to a whole different level, that this collaboration between the college, its students, and the community is so important. Can you expand a little bit on that, how important that is, and what it has meant both ways, both for the college, its students, and the community.
That great point, because again, Miami-Dade College is a big institution. We have more than 100,000 students. So you can imagine the size where we have 8 campuses all around Miami. And we are, an engine to, get the students into a pathway through education. But at some point, the college had the vision and clear vision that we needed to be extremely connected with industry. We needed to be connected with the latest trends in technology, in business, in supply, healthcare, pretty much on any area. Miami-Dade College has more than 300 programs. So it's a huge operation, but it's extremely important to stay connected, not with what we believe is the future or the skills that are needed. It's actually industry, companies telling us what are the skills that are needed. So based on that connection and based on this integration that our visionary leaders have had in the last few years and today, to really, how can we connect better with the ecosystem that is growing in Miami, especially now the tech ecosystem, to really understand all those companies that are coming. Listen, what are they looking for? Because we are here to really create the pipeline to those jobs that they're creating. So making sure that we have the right skills in the classroom, making sure that we focus on the right areas, as you just said, blockchain, like those are areas that are growing. How can we make sure that we provide the education that often it doesn't exist? And that happened with Tesla. Tesla was growing in Florida in general, and Miami, one of the cities that, more vehicles are being purchased from Tesla, but they didn't have enough Tesla technicians. So that's for us is, a great opportunity to collaborate, in this case, with a big company that, everyone knows, to say, we're here to help through education. So partnering together, Tesla and Miami-Dade College, creating a program that gets you through Miami-Dade College with a job with Tesla after only 4 months in the program. So that's the opportunity for being there, for being listening to companies like Tesla, and then creating programs together in partnership, collaborating, and a co-investment approach to say, we are here to help and create a pathway for the local community here in Miami.
I was honored to be part of the announcement a couple of years ago. I think it was in December of 2019. Over at Miami-Dade College, West Campus in Doral. I do a lot of work in the city of Doral. And I was there the day that they announced the program. We got an idea that gave us a little tour. It's in the back of the building there. So it was, I think, a very important moment for the college, its students, and just Miami in general to have that sort of opportunity there. And give these students a month period of time to be able to get certified to work on Tesla's cars. The electric car is here to stay. So this is not a fad. This is something that's going to come and go. It's happened. It's turned the corner. And Miami-Dade College, as always, is mission. Antonio, the workforce. We have so much talent here. In Miami-Dade County, the students that are growing up through the school system, through high school, and then local colleges here. And for many years, there's been what we call a brain drain here in Miami. A lot of these great, bright students have been offered opportunities, especially technology, in other parts of the country. So these companies are taking away our talent and feeding their local economic development. But that has shifted, hasn't it?
That's our mission. And we believe, again, in education to land a job locally. 80% to 90% of the students that come to Miami-Dade College are not looking to leave. They want to stay because their families are here. They have everything in here. They just want an opportunity, to get a high-paying job so they can stay. And as you say, we have seen many students from our local community leaving. And sometimes it's good to leave. You get a different perspective. But what is not good is if they don't come back because there are no jobs for them to come back. So either getting out of our education system to get a job or leaving and then coming back, our mission is to make sure that we can help transition into our local community, getting jobs here. And then all those companies that are coming and they're bringing jobs, of course, and that's good for our economy. Really, it's a challenge if they also bring just external people to come and not growing the local talent. So that's one of our missions, to make sure that when we connect with these companies and we work with local government, the county, the cities, to make sure that we can get that pipeline of our local talent getting into those jobs, our local talent getting paid internships as a way to start, or entry-level positions. And for those that already have some experience, how can we create the ecosystem to reskill, upskill, and help them transition into those jobs that are being created in Miami? Because we believe, like, many people talk about Silicon Valley. How can we replicate Silicon Valley? It's not about Silicon Valley. It's about Miami. We are Miami. We have our culture, our identity, and we have our community. So we want that community to have the access to have a tech ecosystem that is inclusive for our talent that we're growing here in the city or in the county.
Now, you have a very impressive title, well-deserved, Vice President of Innovation and Technology Partnerships. That partnership is big, because you mentioned Tesla, but you've also, some of your other key partners include Amazon, Google, IBM, Microsoft. Why is that important for Miami-Dade College and Miami-Dade County?
So we believe that education through hands-on learning is the best way to get a job. So when we create curriculum and what is the best way to provide our students with hands-on learning, hands-on skills, and certifications from industry, the best way is to partner with the ones creating the technology, the Googles, the Amazon, the Microsoft or IBM. They are the leader technology companies in the world. They are creating technology. They're creating cloud computing. They're creating cybersecurity. They're creating artificial intelligence. So we recognize that it's not just us looking at them and defining what should be done. It's us partnering with them, first to get our faculty trained and certified, second to bring those opportunities to our students and get the most affordable pathway to get into those advanced skills in technology. And then when those students they graduate with the skills and certifications, they're ready for a job. They can prove not only a degree from Miami-Dade College, but also a certification either from Microsoft, from AWS, Amazon Web Services, or from Google, or from IBM. Like, they are ready to show I have skills that are recognized and skills that can help get a job automatically. Absolutely. So that's why it's so important, as you say in my title, the technology partnerships is really meaningful to have those 100% established partnerships, a real partnership to work with these big companies to help our students not only get jobs with the big companies themselves, but also with the local companies that are here looking for talent.
Absolutely. And what have you seen in terms of that developing and growing, those and as a result of the partnerships?
So one example, Amazon Web Services, they're the leading company in the world in cloud computing, the leading platform in cloud computing. So for them, it's essential to have partners like Miami-Dade College, because they see colleges as the opportunity to get into the local communities that are eager to get into high-paying jobs. So our partnership with AWS, not only to develop the curriculum in cloud computing, like first in the state of Florida, then to get our faculty certified in cloud computing, then to implement that curriculum locally with our students without any experience in technology or cloud computing, and getting them through this program that after a year, now AWS believes so much in us that they just went through a round of hiring our students. We got 8 students hired, 3 full-time, 5 interns at Amazon Web Services. Again, leading company in the world in cloud computing. Even when they're not local, they're not in Miami with an official office, they're getting students from our program. So that's an example of building a partnership all the way to the end, when you can get the local talent that we have with the right skills to work not only for these big companies when they help us create the program, but now every company in Miami looking for talent in cloud computing can say, I know where to find skills. They're also certified and they're ready to produce. So we have amazing stories from students coming from Haiti because of everything that is happening there, and the hurricanes and the earthquake. And then this student coming and automatically, after a semester in Miami-Dade College, getting an internship in AWS. Or that immigrant from Venezuela that came with a degree from Venezuela, came here, got a few skills in cloud computing through Miami-Dade College, now getting a full-time job in AWS. So those are the stories of our community. And we are that pathway to get into those great, through these partnerships, getting into those amazing opportunities.
Before we wrap it up, Antonio, can you tell us a little bit about your experience with the Innovation Center? I know that that has been also another example Miami-Dade College has been doing the last handful of years. Can you give us an update on the Innovation Center? I've been there for several events, and I've seen firsthand that the things that are going on, and it's really the latest things that are the one thing I went to was a whole 2 day workshop on content, developing content for your digital platforms and all that. Can you tell us a little bit about your role there and where are things at with the Innovation Center?
So I can tell you that, one approach that we have had for the last few years is to create these type of centers as showcases to connect. This is for our own students to learn hands-on skills in multiple areas, depending on the center, but it's also a way to connect with the community, to help those that want to, connect with people that are in that sector, connect with the students, connect with opportunities, connect with resources to learn new skills. So we have developed multiple centers. One of those is the Idea Center. And the Idea Center as a space for entrepreneurships, for innovation, and a space that is growing now in Miami. So great timing for those that want to create their own businesses and they don't know how. We created this space to really help. Not only, again, our own students when they go through our programs and curriculum, but also the community. We have an amazing program here at the Idea Center called 10K Small Businesses that we help small businesses get resources, get training, help them grow their businesses or be more efficient or learn new skills. So that's just an example from the entrepreneurship point of view or small businesses that are already in place, that we are part of the ecosystem, that we're helping those that usually think that, this is not for me, or I don't know what to do or where to find information. We are there to help them. And we are there to really provide everything that they need to succeed. So again, the Idea Center being one of those centers, but also having a brand new business innovation technology center where we teach the students about digital marketing and the latest tools in TikTok, Instagram, but how to use that from a marketing perspective. So great immersive environment, or we have an animation and gaming center to help the students learn about how to animate and how not to play a game, but to create a game. So these centers are very interactive, but they're exactly the same way that industry works, that the jobs of the future require them to know the skills. So we prepare them in the classroom the same way that they're going to be working in the future. And that's why we're so excited that through these centers, we are really getting the students, getting our community with the skills that they need to succeed.
And the word is succeed. And you guys are doing it in a way that's very upfront, and you're not just sitting in one area and staying there. You're constantly moving forward to create, recreate, and all that. Antonio, thank you so much for being on the program today. I'm looking forward to many more conversations regarding this incredible growth of technology, especially here in Miami. So congratulations on all your work.
Thank you, Pete. Looking forward to our next conversation.
All right, take care. Big thank you to Antonio Delgado from Miami-Dade College, who gave us an update of what the college is doing in terms of advancing the technology scene here in Miami. Now for my second guest, Robie Day. He is a restaurateur and entertainment entrepreneur who's been in the business in excess of 25 years. He runs three fantastic locations: City Place Doral, Chico Malo, Copper's Blues Bar, and the Improv. So let's sit back and watch that conversation. Okay, with us is Mr. Robie Day. He's entrepreneur. He's a restaurant mogul, entertainment guy. I mean, the works. Robbie, how are you doing, buddy?
Very well, sir. Very well. Thank you. Thank you for having me today. This is great.
Well, I know the scene is fantastic, man. It gets everybody. It'll get everybody in the mood. It's a club scene. It's a club look and feel. So I think it's apropos for our conversation today. Robbie, we met a few months ago at Chico Malo at City Place Doral.
Correct.
You own the other two locations right next door, Copper's Blues Bar and the Improv. Um, I know that you have other venues, other locations. Before we get into that, can you tell us a little bit about your background? I know you've been 25 years plus in hospitality and entertainment. Tell us a little bit about that experience and what have you discovered along the way?
I mean, I think I've got a very unique career, so to speak, in hospitality. I had the ability to kind of start right out of graduate school in 2000, 2001, and was with kind of a higher end nightlife concept that was just in its infancy stages. And I became very quickly an operating partner at that location. And my responsibility was to do all of the partner grunt work, which was traveling, finishing construction, doing all the hiring, training, opening. It's a live entertainment based venue. So in multiple cities, having to find the talent for the live bands, DJs, plus any promoters that we used, and all marketing outlets. And basically for 15 years, I said I was on the road. I was either living in another market or on the road 2 weeks out of the month, traveling and learning. And my job was to basically understand that market so we could come in and impact that market. And from Seattle to Miami, California, which are Oxnard, and Phoenix area, Scottsdale, Arizona, Texas, all over Florida. And at the time, I was just, a young kid, very aggressive in what I was doing, taking every opportunity in front of me. I would literally get a phone call saying, hey, would you be able to move? I would cancel a lease, and within 2 weeks, I had a car that I would just pack all my stuff in. I had a TV and clothes. I could have it packed and became an expert at shipping. And I could be in that market within 2 weeks, depending on how long it took me to get the car transit. And I did that for 15 years straight, and not realizing it when I kind of came out and where I'm at now in my career, as I'm talking to investors, landlords, my partners, or anybody else. I've got this skill set that was just severely honed from having to go into a market that as a mid to late 20-year-old, even early 30s, knew nothing about, and having to figure all that out. So sorry about that. I thought I turned that off. But that really gave me this skill set that I was even unaware that I was growing. So for the background of my career, to really answer your question, it really revolved around having to move to I think it was 18 markets, meaning cities, the last time I counted, and opening about 25 openings at about 7 different concepts throughout that 20-year career. And in an opening, that's one of the craziest times in the industry where you really learn and hone your craft. And having been able to do that in so many different markets, it really kind of gave me an advantage on where I'm at today.
We're going to have a conversation off camera soon, because I have plans to go national with this program.
Oh, wow.
And we're going to be identifying the key business markets in the country. And I'm going to reach out to the leaders of those markets just to get an understanding of what is going on there. And I think that I hope to be a catalyst and connecting the dots and beyond working our local markets. How can we opportunities around the country there? So we'll have a conversation on that. I'd be interested in getting your feedback on all of that, because I think it's important to do that, especially we're doing this digitally. It's a no-brainer. It really is there.
Absolutely. I mean, where I'm at now, I realized probably 7 years ago, living in Vegas for the second time, having lived in all those multiple cities I referenced before, Miami is my home. I grew up in South Florida and Fort Lauderdale. There's no market like Miami. There's no city like Miami. And it's the place that I always, in my mind, with living here, as I did, and then wanting to get back here. Took me a couple years finding the way to through business and work and what I could open and get back here. But Miami's definitely my home. But I always will have interest in growth and scale in other markets.
Absolutely. So Robie, we're not out of the woods yet. We're still dealing with COVID. We're still dealing with things that are going on. We all know the entertainment industry, the venues, the restaurants took a massive hit with the pandemic and the lockdowns last year. Tell us about your story.
So I definitely think I'm one of the more fortunate ones when I tell the story. It was almost like, for me, it was a movie to where every time everything got really intense and you didn't have that answer, you know, the montage of putting in the work and figuring out what to do, and you come out on the back end with the right answer. And, you know, a lot of it, there's a lot of scenarios that fall into this equation, but ultimately we had to rewrite our business. I mean, I don't remember the exact timeline, but obviously the first couple months were the scariest because, you know, as an operator, it's like, we'll handle anything, throw it at us, whatever we got. But when it's unknown for your time frame, so you can't kind of, you know, forecast the downside and kind of plan for the worst case scenario, you're just sitting there day by day, which is never a comfortable feeling.
No.
So I sat down with my entire team, and basically we rewrote our business. We said, I don't know how long this model is going to have to last, but you know, you are no longer and at this title, in this position, at this pay, everybody is flattened at this level. And we even said that there's, you know, I completely understand if you choose to not take this new job, when we do, you know, come out of it, you'll have your old job available for you, probably. And that was the first thing. So I really just assessed what we could do and kind of wrote a whole new business model from an operating stance, which in all completely restructured the way our labor force worked, how we sold our product, what we did, had to adjust to what product we could get. And in the beginning, that wasn't the toughest thing, but it still mattered. And then just really did enormous financial scrutinization every day by day. You know, it wasn't a review of our financials on our P&L on a weekly basis, a quarterly basis. It was a day by day basis. We really had to watch everything. Because for the first time, we really were looking, this isn't something that could cause detriment to one of our locations. Because growing up in Florida, you know, hurricane season, every 5 to 6 years, you have something come through that if you get caught in a cash shortage at a certain location, or you're in a struggling location as it is, those conversations come up about, well, maybe this is not the strongest unit to keep going, going through this, we're going to incur more debt, blah, blah, blah. But you never have this thought, or I have never, for our entire organization. And the conversations we were having was literally the sheer survival. I mean, do we stay closed throughout the whole pandemic and then come out when we can do it? Do we try to make, you know, do what we can? And referencing back to my comment about Miami being the best market, I mean, Miami, we were the first out of all of our locations to reopen, partially because we could. Thanking DeSantis for that.
Yes.
And we really were able to create a revenue stream that was able to support things here and there throughout so in California, Arizona, and throughout Florida, that we were then able to kind of reopen and grow from there.
Yeah, I remember back during the lockdown, and you know, I do so much work in the city of Doral, and just being curious and just driving around. And I remember going in the City Place, man. Copper's Bar and Improv already had opened a couple years before. And it was, and I know you probably did the same thing. It was a ghost town. It was really scary. It was sad in the middle of the week and the evening. It was dark. And now when you go back, okay, and I was just there last night to City Place, the way that it's come back, and our good friends Mauro and Claudia that work for the managing company there, it's all coming to life again, and I think it's got a new bounce, you know, and it's got a new thrust that was and in a weird way helped out because of COVID. You know, all that pent up demand and that energy to do things. I'm sure that it is with me, as with so many others, that I looked at all this as, okay, this is bad. Okay, this is really bad. And the unknown, the uncertain, to be in an uncertain situation is the worst feeling in the world. Okay, you want to know either way. It's going to be bad. Okay, great. It's going to be great. Great. I think that you and so many, and I looked at it, is how do we take all of this now and reinvent ourselves and do things differently? Matter of fact, we have the green light to do that otherwise, you know, well, I'm not going to make any big change. Okay, I'm not going to disrupt that. But this was a disruption that was thrown on everybody, and we were forced and given the green light to do things differently because we had no choice.
Yeah, no, it was, you know, going back, you know, that choice originally was we were able to rewrite the business.
Yeah.
And then as we were coming out, it was a whole new world and it was a whole new clientele. You definitely saw some regular faces, but I guess depending on who felt comfortable with how they went out and where they went out. But I'll say Miami is definitely one of the strongest coming out and supporting businesses locally for sure. From my knowledge in the businesses that we have in other markets, Miami is by far the strongest, which is again why I wanted to live here, knowing that this is if you're in food and beverage, if you're in food and beverage and hospitality, and you know half of what you're doing, and you can connect with any segment of the city of Miami, they're going to respond. And Absolutely. They did with COVID coming back.
So Rob, what do you see down the road now? Now that because we were surviving through all this, but now it's time to start thriving, and we're not out of the woods yet with all of this. But what do you see happening in the next few months and into 2022 in your particular area?
There's still a little bit of that unknown. It's not as scary as before. I feel comfortable with the things that have been said as far as we're not worried about a lockdown, but it is possible. I don't 100% write that out of my mind, just in anticipating things. I kind of like to put my brain to a worst case scenario and then build up from there. But I do feel a lot more comfortable that we're not going to have another shutdown. And I honestly see us having a very strong season coming up. I mean, I was just in a meeting with one of the top suppliers for wine and spirits in the world, pretty much, but definitely in the country. And they're having one of their strongest. This is as of about 2 months ago. They were having one of their strongest years in the past 5 years. Mm-hmm. So, as far as in South Florida and where food and beverage has come back, and from what I've heard a little bit about the tourism numbers, we're pretty strong. And I feel like that's going to keep growing. And to give you a kind of a specific idea, we just had to purchase for Chico Malo a liquor license. And before COVID, I would say they were about $175 to $185. They're going for $360,000 if you can get one now. So that kind of gives you an idea. Those are limited by population growth, and it's an asset. You buy that, you own it, and you can resell it or do whatever with it, and it just gives you the rights. So there's a lot of value there, and that kind of gives an idea with how people feel about food and beverage. So in Miami specifically, I feel we're going to see more growth. We're already seeing a lot of like bigger players from the New York market coming in and expanding their portfolios. You're seeing some people from California that are going to start coming in and starting to try and get a bigger piece. And these people would kind of play with one or two here and there, but now they're making a strong stance. A lot of their high operators are moving down. And I think we're going to see an extreme growth in Miami all the way through 2022. I think the reality that I honestly don't have an answer on is going to be your really big private events, your corporate events. Like there's still them a liability element of them having their brand name on something and having 1,000 people come out for a mixer or whatever their event could be. I honestly don't know about that because I haven't heard or seen anything that makes me feel like, well, this is a time frame, because all I see with that is they keep pushing things back. We'll book in Q1 of 2022 and Q2 of 2022, so that's the only area, which is a substantial amount of money for, I would say, most of the food and beverage operators that are in the area.
Yeah, I have obviously friends in the hotel industry, and they're giving me their scenarios and what's going on. But I think it's the age of the small clusters of people. Yeah. And I was seeing something recently. Weddings now, they're the new thing is the smaller groups. Maybe 50 people, 35, 40 people. So it'll be more volume, but you're not going to have the massive groups. Probably, it's like you said. We're going to have to go through a consistent period of months going by where we don't have any more surges and COVID or new variants has come out and all that kind of stuff in order for the really big events to come in. So you got to say, okay, if that's the case, the next 18 months, what do we do? how do we tap into what's happening right now? And I think you guys are doing a great job. You got 3 great venues at City Place, the Improv. What can you say about that? Coppers Blues. The music there is phenomenal, and of course Chico Malo. It's different types of restaurants, different types of locations, but they all click and connect with each other. And my hat's off to you and your team, man, because you guys do a great job there. The service is terrific, and everybody is right on top of things there.
Thank you. And I mean, the one thing that definitely needs to be said, I mean, one of the reasons that we were able to come out and not just survive, but thrive, the people of Miami and Doral is an enormous reason why, and in our other markets as well. But the team of people that we have, I mean, my partners and us, and being able to, when we're going back and saying, how is it coming out? There was a couple variables that really helped us get out, and how we were able to navigate, the SBA program, what to do, what not to do. I mean, we were very fortunate on what we were able to kind of utilize in the time we needed it, and then turn down the stuff that we didn't. So the team of people that I'm working with on a local level and on a global level really were a difference maker too.
Right. Robie, this has been fantastic, buddy. I'm glad we got together and had this conversation. There's some more things that you and I will be talking about in the very near future. But any way that we can continue to push out what you guys are doing, especially in Doral, we're there for you. Any support you need, man.
We're easy. We're all about coming in and having fun. So anytime you guys want to do, or anybody listening to this wants to come in and have an event, just whether it's 5 people that want to get together for a cocktail and just kind of talk, or you want to kind of do something in a comedy club based, or do some kind of a convention, we're easy. We're always open to anybody and everybody.
Okay, terrific, my friend. Thank you so much, buddy.
Appreciate it. Thanks a lot, Pete.
Talk to you soon, man. Okay, bye-bye. Thanks to Robie Day for being with us here today and give us an update of what's going on in the hospitality restaurant industry. And it looks like some positive things are happening in spite of the pandemic. I want to thank you for being with me on this program. Keep writing to me, sending me your feedback. Send it to my website, PeteDLT.com, and I promise to look at it and respond to you. I want to ask you if you got a moment to check me out on my social media platforms, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and like I said earlier, subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can also listen to us on Spotify and TuneIn Radio. Thank you. Thank you for being with us here today. I'd love for you to have a fantastic week. Go out there and make it happen. Take care, and God bless.